Hey folks, Ryan here. We'd love to be able to be small people and just take the money out of your pockets to fund our show. Unfortunately, that is both physically impossible and morally questionable. Instead of borrowing your hard-earned money, I'd rather just ask you to come down to patreon.com/evacstation. For less than the cost of exterminators to rid your home of my presence, you can help us afford good equipment and a place for me to stay instead of your basement. I don't mind it down here, but I wouldn't mind a little more sunlight. Again, that is patreon.com/evacstation. And now, on to the show.
You know, a crow flew into my window by mistake once. Had my dick out, and he came thinking it was a worm. Joke's on him, though, because I came first. Welcome to the After Credits cast. We are Arrietty Wasesclock, and with me today, I have Ryan Neanders.
Oh my god! I'm dead. I'm already dead. I'm sorry.
So what's funny is I said that same joke when I was watching the movie with Amanda. Like, I don't know why I was prompted to, but I just did it, and she just gave me that look like, no, don't ever say that.
It just came out of, like, left field. I just completely wasn't ready.
And before I get too sidetracked, the intro song for this week is All the Small Things. I think by Blink-182, if I'm correct.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So, yeah, listen to that one. It's good. It's good. So before we get too deep into the dicks and the dick jokes and the movie synopsis, Ryan, what you been watching?
Oh my god. Well, thanks to the magic of pre-recording and timey-wimey nonsense, I got to see Mission Impossible Fallout this past week.
So is that like a crossover with the Fallout games, or what am I missing here?
No, there are no Vault Boys around here, just Tom Cruise and a bunch of shit blowing up and nonsensical shenanigans. I've always been a really big fan of the Mission Impossible series, because I feel like ever since, like, from Mission Impossible 4 on, they started taking themselves a little less seriously, and it still has the big action sequences and crazy-ass things, and it still has a lot of the espionage games that are just really fun and clever to watch. But they also add a lot more humor and levity to the situation. It's the closest thing I think Americans have to old-school James Bond, and I love it. And this continues in the exact same vein. You're either jumping back and because crazy shit's happening, or like enjoying a big ass action sequence, or laughing your ass off because Tom Cruise is doing some silly shit and playing off of Simon Pegg fantastically. Everybody needs to go see this movie. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I also went out to see a movie as well. So Amanda found a good deal on this app we've been using called the Atom movie ticket app.
I need to check that out. I keep hearing good things.
So we have the phone plan through T-Mobile, and they'll have a T-Mobile Tuesday kind of thing, and occasionally it'll give discounts on tickets through Atom, which does go to my favorite local theater and a few other ones. And so we went through there, and it turns out they had another deal on top of the T-Mobile deal, which was getting free tickets to see a show, for any showing to the new movie, The Spy Who Dumped Me.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So bear in mind, it's a free movie, so I can't be too mean to it. I mean, I didn't pay shit for it.
How was that movie?
So, it's a comedy movie about girls who get sucked into this spy world due to some miscommunication bullshit. And there are parts of the movie where I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then there are parts where I'm like, man, they're really stretching for these jokes. And as I'm sitting there, pulling myself away from the situation, I'm thinking to myself, if you took out the spy shit and just focused on the girls, this would literally be a chick flick. If you took out the girls and focused on the spy shit, it would be a discount James Bond. They're trying to make a movie to appease both audiences, and I don't think it works as well as they want it to. So I would say that it's not a bad film, but it certainly lacks a lot of polish.
That makes me kind of sad. I love Mila Kunis. I think she's drop dead gorgeous and a really funny actress on top of everything. So I love her and shit. And Kate McKinnon is just a hilarious fucking person, period. So when I heard the two of them were going to be titling it, I was like, that could actually be really, really good. Because the last spy spoof movie that was helmed by a really awesome female comic, I loved it. It was Spy with
Are you talking about the Melissa McCarthy movie?
Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. I
never saw that one. I have to get around to that.
That's really good. No, Spy is surprisingly amazing. It's really, really good. I definitely recommend it. And I was hoping that this would kind of follow in the same vein, so it's a little disappointing that it doesn't.
Well, so I might be a bit harsh. I'm picky with comedy, so I don't take my word for it 100%. But I think the essential issue I have is maybe the main characters a bit. And it's not that either actress is bad. I don't think Kate McKinnon fits the situations in this movie as well as she does in, say, like, Ghostbusters. I liked Ghostbusters when she was in it. She did a good job being quirky and weird in a situation that required a quirky and weird character.
I liked her in Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like Ghostbusters, but I liked her in Ghostbusters.
Her and Chris Hemsworth stole the show.
Yeah.
But, no, for this movie, it tries to be serious and grounded in certain situations, but then you have a character like her who's just so quirky and bizarre, on top of a couple of other ones, and I'm like, I can't really buy the situation, and I can't take the seriousness you're trying to deliver it with, when you have this goofy-ass shit over here in this corner that I just can't follow. Like, comparing it to a movie that I shouldn't be comparing it to, the Austin Powers movies, they were goofy and weird from beginning to end, and there was no tone of seriousness in there. So when goofy, weird shit happens, it's expected. It fits the tone. Here, it's just like it goes back and forth. I'm like, I can't take it. I can't buy it.
That makes me sad. See, now, so just for comparison, Spy with Melissa McCarthy, it has a 94 rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like her highest rated movie. The Spy Who Dumped Me has a 44. That makes me sad.
Speaking of Melissa McCarthy, though, there was a trailer in the movie that I'm kind of looking forward to, but I don't know if I'm going to actually like it. Have you been seeing the trailers for Happy Time Murders?
I've seen one. It was a Red Band trailer, and it was so fucking off the wall. I was like, oh, Lord, have mercy. I don't know.
I kind of want to see it because I'm not a big Muppets guy. But I do like what I'm seeing here because it's just so off-the-wall ridiculous, and Melissa McCarthy is doing a bang-up job selling that character, as fucking insane as she is. It's great. I want to see it. I don't know if it'll be a theater watch, but I will definitely be watching it at some point.
I don't know, honestly. And I know we're going super deep into this, and I'm really sorry, but Melissa McCarthy is actually pretty cool. And, I think what really sold her act in Spy was that the first half of the movie, she's actually kind of reserved and just like it's more of the Mike and Molly type of comedy, and then there's a point in the movie where she turns on the vulgarity just like out of fucking nowhere, and it makes for a really awesome kind of whiplash. But I can't really handle vulgar Melissa McCarthy for 2 hours straight, so I don't know.
We'll see. I also, as a side note, because I want to bring it in... actually, you know what? I can hold it off until next week. No. So there was some other stuff I've been doing this past week, but I think this can hold off till next time, so I'm running out of shit to put in for these weekly follow-ups. So
yeah, no, let's just sidetrack the shit out of this.
Anyway, so this week. Let's talk about the movie we're doing this week, Ryan.
Oh shit, we're doing a movie, right?
Yeah, we're doing a movie. You know, Ryan, is it a big deal? Sorry, let me reemphasize that. Is it a big deal that we're still doing SummerSlam in November? Well, this film is no small feat. Huh? See what I did there?
They have small feet.
Good stuff. We're discussing The Secret World of Arrietty, directed by Hiromasa Yonebayashi. That's a long-ass name. Released in
These
2010.
names are hard, guys.
Well, especially when they're like a million syllables long.
Yep.
This film received 2 English dubs, which I mentioned already, the American version and the UK. So I watched the UK version, which features voices of people such as Olivia Colman, Mark Strong, Saoirse Ronan, and Tom Holland.
Wait, Spider-Man! What the fuck? Who did he play?
He played the
Show?
Yeah, he played Show.
Nice.
If you want to watch the American version, you'll actually end up getting actors like Amy Poehler and Will Arnett. So have fun with that. Arrietty has gone on to win several awards, including Best Animated Film at the awards of the Film or Japanese Academy, Best Animated Film at the International Cinephile Society Awards, Best Animated Feature from the Italian Online Movie Awards, Best Anime, Best Anime, Foreign Animation, and Voice-Over Work from the Golden Trailer Awards, and 5 awards from the Tokyo Anime Awards, including the Animation of the Year, Art Direction, Director, and Best Music.
I can see it.
Good shit.
It's good shit. It's very good shit.
As your bonus fact, Ryan, Isao Takahata and Hayao Miyazaki had wanted to make this adaptation for 40 years.
Wow.
Yonebayashi was brought on for his directorial debut and was quite nervous. He would often seek advice from Miyazaki. Eventually, he realized he had to face this journey alone, and when it came to time to draw when it came to draw the storyboards, Miyazaki is said to have congratulated him for it after he had done that. So yeah, directorial debut, big movie they've wanted to do for years. Good shit.
Man, no lie, when I didn't know what the movie was about from the title. And I put it on, and I'm watching it, and after maybe 2 or 3 minutes, the title screen comes on, and it says The Borrowers, and I'm like, holy shit, wait, what? Are we seeing Studio Ghibli tackle The Borrowers? Oh my god! My childhood came flooding back, so I was really excited.
I should probably also mention this has multiple names. It has Arrietty, The Secret World of Arrietty, and The Borrowers. It goes all over the place. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, if you had told me it was The Borrowers, I would have automatically known what the hell the movie was going to be about. It was just like, oh shit, alright, cool. Small people that live in my house and take shit. I love it.
Oh, the Underpants Gnomes. Got it. So Ryan, before we get into it, what are your initial thoughts? Or were those your initial thoughts?
Those were largely my initial thoughts, but I really had a lot of fun with it. I had a lot of fun with it. I feel like it captures a lot of the stuff that Studio Ghibli does very well, and a lot of the classic story beats and like character arcs that Studio Ghibli is kind of known for. So it was a really awesome thing to see.
Oh yeah. I'll defend something like Tales from Earthsea, but I definitely feel like this fits the Ghibli art style and canon a lot better in terms of its tone and art style. I think it's very simple and a sweet story, and I think it's a nice. It's nice when an outside director can step in and deliver a level that's on par with the usual Ghibli fare. I think it's a really good time. So, I'm looking forward to jumping into this a bit.
Definitely.
All right. Are you ready, Ryan? I think you're going to enjoy this brief synopsis. Is it brief? I think it's brief. Hopefully it's brief.
Would you say it's short?
Ha! Little jokes. Got a swig of water there because I'm going to need it.
Yep.
Here we go. A young Peter Parker is brought to a mansion where, because he's slowly dying of a spider bite and staying at a hotel is too much for this wall-crawling menace. Upon arrival, he catches a glimpse of a little person. No, not a midget. Christ, I'm talking about the little miniature humanoid creature. They call themselves Borrowers, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to call them the Minish from Legend of Zelda. Where was I? Right. So Peter catches a glimpse of the Minish before being escorted inside by some rich old lady and her psychotic servant.
This bitch.
But the Minish girl was real, and she heads for her secret home within the mansion's undercarriage. You might say it's a secret world. Oh, and her name is Arrietty. Arrietty lives with her mom and her dad, both of which suffer from being practically inaudible for like the first 10 minutes of the film, at least in the UK dub. Once their voice acting gets a kick in the pants, Arrietty joins her father for a bit of evening thievery. Sorry, borrowing. Listen,
The borrowers.
Listen, you're fucking Minish and you're stealing. Let's cut to the semantics here. Their robbery is cut short when Peter sees them try to steal a tissue from his bedside instead of going to the hall closet and taking it out of the box in there. You know, that's a good idea. Also, Arrietty drops a sugar cube. We see a few cool set pieces like a dollhouse and the mention of rats, only one of which actually play into the story in any way. Peter tries to contact the Minish now that he knows they're there. He doesn't want to eat them or abuse them. He just wants friends. You know, because he left all his friends back in New York. He tries to give Arrietty the sugar she lost. She refuses after ants have already eaten half of it. She's then attacked by a crow, but Peter plays it cool and gets her to safety before the maid can call out the Minish for the freaks they really are. Peter attempts to woo Arrietty. Peter's attempts to woo Arrietty are noticed by her father, who insists the family leave because the humans are now aware of them. And, how right he ends up being. Peter tries to do nice things by giving the Minish family the working kitchen set from the dollhouse he inherited from his not actually dead mother. The Minish mother is in a panic. The father is now in no-nonsense mode and works with a possible racist stereotype to secure their escape. Before they can leave, the psychotic maid finds out what Peter's been up to and finds the Minish house. She takes the Minish mom and hides her in a jar, calling the exterminators to come and find the rest of the Minish. Seems a bit extreme, but okay, sure.
I hate that bitch.
Peter finds out about the deception and helps Arrietty save her family. The maid is made to look like a crazy witch. Peter is given the courage to live on and be brave for his operation in a few days, and Arrietty manages to leave with her family, having learned humans aren't all bad, just the ones that put your family into jars for selfish gain. A lesson we should all learn, honestly. Credits roll as we watch the family and their racist stereotype of a friend float down a river to their new home. I like the ending. At least there's a conclusion to it. Good show. Good show.
I did like the ending too. It was bittersweet because she had to leave, and because you could tell they had feelings for one another, but that also was just a non-starter. The shit wasn't gonna work at all.
That's like Sonic getting together with a human princess. Fuck that noise. That doesn't make no sense. Stop that nonsense. You cut that out, Sega. All right, so now we've gone through that. Overall, what do you think of the movie?
I think I really liked it. I really, really liked it. I think it was. I think it's a safe movie. And I know we've talked in the past about how Studio Ghibli takes a lot of chances and does a lot of these kind of off the wall things, or just tries new shit. I feel like this is.
We did that with Ponyo just a minute ago.
Yes. I was referencing timey-wimey bullshit, and it's a week in between and fucking whatever.
Cagliostro.
But I think that this was a safe movie. They stuck to the stuff that they know how to do very well. They took a beloved story of the Borrowers, which a lot of people know about the Borrowers, except apparently Aaron. Ding ding ding. But
I'm out on that one.
But they took a beloved story. They pretty much stuck to their guns and did it well. They didn't take any chances, but they knocked what they know how to do out the park. So I really liked it.
I thought it was pretty good, too. I didn't know it was based on anything, so I kind of just went into it blind, thinking, okay, well, let's see what this is all about. The only thing I knew about it going into it was the, cover art for, the DVD release, which does show the little Minish girl behind a jar with Sho kind of looking for her. So I kind of already knew, it's going to be Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, more or less. It's going to have small people in it. That's cool. So yeah, I do like how it all played out. I like the world of the borrowers or Minish, whatever the hell you actually want to call them. And honestly, I don't necessarily want a sequel, but I do want to see more of that little world. Mostly because I just like seeing how real life, trinkets and daily household objects are applied to, the day-to-day situations they live. I love seeing them reuse paper clips and string and all this other shit for tools and weapons and just gear to explore the world, when we just used to hold fucking paper.
Or the dad using strips of double-sided tape to scale shit.
That was really clever.
That's really good stuff.
That's really clever. I want to see more of that. I would love to see, like I said, something more of this world, just so I can see more clever ideas.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
But yeah, so I didn't know it was based on a book at all. And I also didn't know there was a live-action adaptation that already existed. Have you even seen that one online?
My first interaction was the live-action movie. And it was...
Okay, so how is it?
I haven't seen it since I was, fucking 5. But I have fond memories of it.
Oh, I'll take your word for it. I don't read anything bad about it, so, I mean, that's good.
It's a lot of nostalgia. I saw it when I was a kid, and it was really, really good. I haven't seen it since then. I could watch it tomorrow and say, oh, God, what the fuck was I thinking? But as of right now, it was a lot of fun, and I have a lot of fond memories with that movie.
That's cool. Okay, so I was actually my first question, so I'll move on to the next bit here. What did you think of the reuse of small household objects as tools and weapons? I think we kind of covered that a little bit, but so aside from the double-sided tape, was there anything else that stuck out to you as being really cool?
I loved that she used little earrings as grappling hooks. This is really cool.
That was great.
When she had to crawl in to the window when she was teaming up with Sho, and she had to crawl into the window and crawl up the curtain so that she could undo the lock. She pulled out a pair of little hook earrings and would just slip them in the curtain and make her way up. And I was like, that's fucking fantastic.
It kind of reminds me... It kind of gave me a video gamey vibe almost, where it's like, you know, it's like a co-op thing where it's like he's got to let her do stuff to unlock things so he can get through stuff to help her get through things that she couldn't do. And they both have their own little equipment set. And I'm like, really cool. I like this. This is a cool little mechanic here. Can I play this? It sounds like fun.
Yeah, no, that honestly, that sounds like a really good fun. That would be a really good game.
Oh yeah.
Just even if it was just kind of a shorter indie game. The idea of being able to switch perspectives like that and having a real a full-blown person and then a small person who has to interact with the world as well, that would be really, really cool to do.
Oh yeah.
Game devs, get on that shit, please. I would play the hell out of that.
I mean, Nintendo, you have the power. You can do it. You can stop taking away emulation websites and make a good game. Do it. I have words for that, but that's a whole other podcast. Okay, so...
Yeah.
I would say that the earrings are definitely up there. For pure style points, though, the needle she has for her sword, while we don't get to see much sword play with it, it still looks pretty cool. It
was. Although I kept getting mad at her, I'm like, stop stabbing your fucking dress!
Well, no.
You gotta mend that
needle,
shit!
It's fine. You could just sew it up with it. It's great.
Lord have mercy.
Okay. So is the maid crazy, or is there any way to justify any action she makes at all?
No. Absolutely. The maid pissed me off so bad because I could not understand her motivations outside of just...
I want the money for these
pure
freaks.
Fucking... it was just pure... I don't even think it was money. I think it was just pure fucking cruelty. just cruelty. And maybe it was fueled by the idea that she had been in this house for fucking 50 years and she had always heard the rumors and like the myths about the little people, and she's like, but I never got to see them, and maybe that just soured and turned into fucking cruelty. But no, fuck her. No, fuck her. I hate her. The first instant I saw her, literally when she hadn't said anything, and we just saw Sho and her in the room from like outside looking into the window, I was like, that's the fucking villain. Instantly. Mm-hmm. That's the villain.
And it's weird to have that when we've had 2 or 3 films in a row now that didn't have a clear-cut villain in them. And it's just weird to go back to that in here. Not bad by any means, but just, it's such a stark difference, you know what I mean?
I would say it's a little bad, and the only reason, not because it's so, like, blatant, this is the villain, but that she's not, I don't feel like she's as fleshed out as the other antagonists that we've had in the rest of Studio Ghibli's films. If you have an antagonist, they're usually a well-developed enough character that you disagree with their fucking views, but you understand where they're coming from. And this bitch was just cruel for the sake of cruel. She was a cartoon villain. Yeah. Well, she was like the first cartoon villain I've seen in Miyazaki's in Ghibli's works.
And I'll accept a cartoon villain here and there. Like I love Skeletor. He's stupid, but I love him. I think that if you really want a villain to stand out and actually be good, your best bet is to form a villain who, from their point of view, is a good guy. The best example I can give is Death Note, from Light's point of view. And to us, he is the hero, because he's the protagonist. But if you put him in any other anime, he is the antagonist, without question. And I think that's a good example of like what I'm saying here, is like, I just want to be able to like be like, okay, if I were to make a show about villain X, Y, or Z, would that be compelling? And would I be able to be like, yeah, they make a good protagonist. I can follow that.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So where was I going with that? I would say that she is a hard sell on that one. Like, she's really hard to sell me on anything positive. And I think you're right. I think more time fleshing her out, or at least giving us a proper motivation, could have saved that, but we didn't quite get it. It was just like, oh, hey, there's Minish here. I'm going to catch them, and then, Profit. Yeah,
like, yeah, the dirty little thieves. Hey, look, I caught them. And I'm like,
go catch Pokemon.
Like, the shit that goes missing is like a goddamn sugar cube. It's, take you little busybody ass somewhere.
Well,
God.
So
it's just mad at her.
So I don't
Every
think it's a direct comparison. But it does kind of remind me of arguments I've had with people over, like, the immigration issue, where they think that, oh, these foreigners are here and they're taking our jobs or our money or whatever. It's like, to a very small percentage of people who... a very small percentage of service jobs who are illegally hiring people who don't have certifications or licensing to be in America, yeah, maybe. But it's such a small, minute percentage that it's not upsetting the balance of our economy in a way that makes it meaningful to build a goddamn wall. In this case, they are stealing things, sure, but the things they're stealing and the amount of which they're stealing is not enough to put them in jars and try to kill them all.
I will also point out when people tell me the whole, like, fucking, they're stealing our jobs, is that you shouldn't really be mad at the people who are willing to work for fucking $3 an hour to do the job. You should more be mad at the guy who's hiring them, because rather than wanting to pay you a living wage, they're going to pay somebody who's here illegally below minimum wage just to cut back on costs. How the fuck are you going to be mad at this person who's trying to do everything they can to feed their family when it's the person who's employing them and not willing to give you what you deserve as a normal human fucking being boggles my mind. I'm
no,
sorry,
no,
we're
but,
going far off
no,
topic
you're on a
but
good soapbox. I appreciate it, because I am definitely a champion of the corporations are bad, don't defend them, fuck them all kind of thing. So I'm on your boat there. Even if you're not on the exact same wavelength, we're on the same boat at least.
Yeah. No, we there. But yeah, no. Fuck that.
Fuck that maid and her Enron bullshit. Okay, so would you have wanted to see more Minish people? I can safely say yes.
I think
so much that I didn't like the humans, but just I like the world. I like the ideas behind what they're doing. That I would love to have seen what the Minish life would have been like with a full population of Minish people there.
I feel like for the story they're telling, they have the exact right amount of Minish people. That being said, I definitely want to see more stories of Minish people, like you said earlier. But I think that for what they're going for, having it be one family trying to deal with losing their home because they've been figured out, it fits. It makes a lot of sense. I think the one thing I could have really loved is if you showed at the very end they were disembarking from their teapot ship and they saw a couple of other groups of Minish in various other stuff. That would have
been nice. I would have loved that. No, I agree. I think this is definitely an introduction piece, and to flood it with Minish people to keep track of would have been a mistake. But definitely more in the future, if they ever come back to this, would be really cool. I just like to, like I said, see a short little clip or something with this whole society and just how they live and what they do. It's it's fascinating, you know. It's like looking into an ant farm and just seeing what all they do. And I'm not trying to belittle anything. Next question. If you were a Minish, Ryan, would you have trusted Sho or Sean or whatever he's called or whatever version you saw?
I like the way the dad put it, where he said you don't always have to run, observe them and then make the best decision. So I think based on what he was showing, based on what he was showing Arrietty in their initial interactions, I think she was right to trust him, and I probably would have trusted him after a little while. But yeah, the hesitance is absolutely understandable because all it takes is one cruel-hearted bitch who has nothing else to do with her day to make you fucking leave and lose your goddamn home. The one thing that I did not like...
Well, fuck.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
The one thing that I did not like that show did was... out of fucking nowhere, snatching the roof off of their home and replacing their damn kitchen. I get it was out of kindness, but that was the most terrifying shit. It's just random. Oh, here's a human who somehow knows exactly where the fuck we are, and now we're all dead. Now your mom is going to die. Oh, nope, he just upgraded the kitchen. Oh, that was actually a show. Okay.
I don't feel like Sho is socially I don't think he's a socially adequate person. I feel like he's treating the Minish like they're pets more than they're people, at least at that incident. Because if he treated them like people, he would have been like, oh, let me knock first, let me leave a message, let me talk to someone first before fucking uprooting your fucking roof and taking out half your home to give you a new room without asking. Because, that's a terrible idea.
And it fits...
It's like a worse version of how to flip my home.
And it fits. It fits with his character, because he's definitely a socially kind of awkward and stunted person because he was never able to really play and interact with the other kids based on his condition. That makes a lot of sense. And it's consistent with the short-sightedness that we see from his character until he starts seeing the consequences of his actions. So I don't think it was. He's not a poorly written character. He's a very well-written character. That's just one of the things where I'm just like, show, stop, homie. That's not the move.
Show, you done goofed.
Show, that's not the move. Stop it.
See, I always worry on when I'm trying to get a girl to go out with me. I guess I'm not doing that anymore. But back when I was always a little worried, if I would overstep the boundaries by, giving him flowers too early or anything like that. I don't have to worry about ripping off their fucking goddamn roof and replacing the kitchen.
What, you've never just hired a construction crew to show up at a girl's house to get her attention? No?
No, I haven't gone that far yet. But I'll tell you, if things don't work out with Amanda in the long term, that'll be my go-to move.
Man, I could tell you some stories of young Ryan. Ha ha ha.
Oh, young Ryan, he sounds like a hoot.
That man had no fucking idea what was going on.
Okay. Why do you suspect during their time when Show's mom had seen them?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's
because they don't drop it off in the movie anywhere. So I was wondering if you had any ideas what may or may not have transpired.
I mean, it makes sense that because they were told that they moved away. Wait, are you talking about the ones that moved away or the ones that fucking vanished?
Let's go with the ones that vanished first. The ones that moved away, obviously, they probably saw what was happening and didn't trust the humans anymore, so they left. But the ones that vanished, I'm very curious as to what their fate might have been.
Well, I'm actually just now thinking of it, and it would be really, really interesting if that was the case. But it would be interesting if the family that vanished actually just left with one of the family members who lived there and had moved away, because it looks like the early inhabitants of the house, they knew about the borrowers and they were actually trying to cater to them. So it would be really cool if one of those earlier family members who actually knew of their presence and had proven themselves to be nice. It would be cool if a sequel would explore, hey, it's a family of borrowers who actually live in perfect harmony with the humans. That would have been cool.
And then everything changes when the crows attack.
Fucking crows.
Fuck crows, man. No, I'm down for that. I definitely would love to get more details on that and just see what a world with them living together would be like. But yeah, no, it's a mystery that I'm just very fascinated by, because they mention it, and I'm like, okay, did someone take them? Did they die? Did they leave with the previous owners? There's just so many questions that aren't answered, and I don't think they need to be, but they're questions I like asking nonetheless.
Yeah. Honestly, there was a part of me in the first half of the movie that wondered if that's where the movie was going. If at the end of the movie we would see that Show actually, Show 20 years later, and he's introducing his children to fucking Arrietty's family and whatnot, and they've managed to actually live in harmony. That would have been a really cool ending. But there was no way to do that when that evil fucking bitch was still living in this house. So we're gonna have to wait till she died. Everything. Which I hope is
okay.
I mean, sorry, excuse me.
What do you think the meaning or theme behind this film is supposed to be?
That's a damn good question.
Because it does feel kind of like a fun adventure or fun little slice of life with little people, like a little fantasy story, but it doesn't really feel like it has any real significant meat on its bones or anything. It's got the generic stuff be nice to people and shit like that, but there's really nothing deeper beyond that kind of usual fare.
I think
that I could see.
I think the central takeaway I'm getting from the movie really deals with Arrietty's need for adventure or to experience new stuff, because it's her it's her need to kind of explore beyond the bounds of her life that kind of gets them all in trouble and ends up making them have to move, which like definitely like cautions against that, but it also likes to play up the sense of exploration and the joy of discovering and finding these new things. So I feel like the movie kind of is a balancing act between saying, you know, be careful when like exploring and pushing these new boundaries, but be sure to continue to do so, because at the very end of the movie, you see that she's sad that she had to leave show and her home, but she starts to perk back up as she's seeing brand new stuff, and she's like embracing this new land that they're gonna go towards. So I feel like that's what the movie was going for.
Well, and to add to that too, had she not gone out to explore, she wouldn't have given Sho the courage he needed to be cool with going through his life-saving surgery he's going to be taking. And yeah, I think that you hit a good point on the head where it's like life's a balancing act of, you know, push your limits, push your boundaries, but don't take things so far that, you know, you end up endangering the lives of people you give a shit about.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a balancing act, and I think it's fair. I think that's a lesson we've taken from a lot of these movies, but this one seems to aim at a more personal version of that.
Yeah.
Last question before we move on. As compared to our other non-Miyazaki or non-Takahata films, how does this hold up? Does it earn its place within the Ghibli canon? We haven't had a whole lot of non-main directors from Ghibli doing stuff, but of the ones we've seen, I think this holds up maybe among the best of them. I think it definitely fits the art style. I think its story, while not quite as ambitious as, say, Ponyo or Princess Mononoke, I think it's still very solid, and it's definitely a far cry from some of the things we have at the lower end of the spectrum. I really like what we have here. I think it's definitely something that I would recommend, for sure.
I like it. I really do. I guess, and it's, like you said, it's a very solid movie. It's a very solid movie, and it definitely feels like Studio Ghibli. If that's the question we're asking, then yes, 100%. This is the first one that's not Miyazaki directed, that like we have a guest director, but really falls in line with Ghibli's animation style and values 100%. But that being said, I don't think it's my favorite non-Miyazaki directed movie, and the only reason is because I appreciate the kind of traditional Ghibli movies that take a chance and knock it out the park. And the first thing that comes to mind is the first thing that comes to mind, honestly, is My Neighbors the Yamadas, because it was so fucking out there and it was so wonderful. It was just like they did something entirely different, and it paid off dividends because they had the balls to try something completely different. So.
Oh yeah, and I would say my personal favorite for the non-traditional for guest directors would definitely be the Whisper of the Heart, because that guy, he definitely sold us on some good stuff there. That was good stuff.
Yeah, I think if I had to rank them, I would say My Neighbors the Yamadas, Only Yesterday, and then Whisper of the Heart.
That's fair. That's very fair. Okay. So those are my questions for today. I'll give everyone a quick reminder. We do have a mailbag. If you want to send us your questions, your comments, or your opinions on the movies we're talking about or future movies we're talking about, we have an email right here. Not email, but Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, all that stuff. And an email. I want to get the other ones out of the way first. Ryan, what is that email?
That email is imsoalone@gmail.com. I mean, that email is evacstation@gmail.com.
I like that. That's a good email. Y'all should check it out.
You really should. We work hard on that.
We did. We really did. So, before we get too deep in anything else, Ryan, I have a conspiracy corner.
Oh, shit. I missed it. All right. What is it?
You probably didn't miss it. You probably just didn't realize what it was. So, When the Cluck family is leaving the house to get away for their new life, they encounter a creature along the way. A big, furry, raccoon-like creature.
Oh, shit.
They see a tanuki along the way, just like the ones in that Pom Poko movie we done talked about.
Ah, I gotcha.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, fuck, I've seen that before. I know what you are.
You know what? Like when you were right before you said it, the like one scene stuck out to me. Right before they were getting ready to leave, and Arrietty's kind of outside, just being all sad, and she looks in the darkness and she sees glowing eyes, and it's a fucking cat with glowing eyes. I was like, oh shit! Fucking Totoro? Cat bus?
I mean, that's interesting, but unfortunately we don't have any cat buses. We just have raccoon dogs.
That's fair.
Alright, I actually have a little bit of time remaining, so we're going to hit up some trivia! Cue the music!
I'm always down to be embarrassed.
Alright, I think you have a shot on these, on at least one of these.
Alright, well, let's see what we got here.
Alright, so for those listening, since Ryan's not big on knowing all the animes, I've decided to throw tropes at him. He gets a point for every trope we give him, and we have 3 here today. These are all anime-specific tropes. So the first trope I have for you, Ryan, is giving up the ghost. What does that mean?
What the fuck? What?
Giving up the ghost. What could this possibly be in anime?
No.
If you want a hint, I can give you a hint.
I'd like to use a lifeline. What the fuck?
Alright. It's a visual gag you will see in comedy manga. I don't want to give too much more away because that would spoil it.
No, that's fair. Okay. I would say in certain comedic settings or certain comedic kind of bits, something like so unbelievable or shocking would happen that a person would like kind of like their spirit would almost depart their body in shock, and they would be like, ah, and like a fucking ghost would pop out like in reaction to things. It's probably entirely wrong.
I will read it for you. This is a comedy trope found in anime and manga. Sometimes a character may feel like they could die at any moment due to some form of sudden external stimulation or just plain exhaustion. It could be getting knocked out with a sudden blow to the head, being scared half to death, a sudden shock to the system, being pushed to the point of physical exhaustion, or some other form of amusing injury. This results in the character's soul momentarily escaping the body, most often from their mouth. You were spot on. Good work.
Yeah.
See, I knew you'd get one of these. Alright, here's another one for you. Ryan, what is instant cosplay surprise? I just like the name. I just wish that was a thing that people could do.
Oh, shit. It sounds really descriptive. It sounds really self-descriptive, where, like, members of an anime will show up like unexpectedly in cosplay, like typically from other mangas, from other like anime, just to kind of throw back to them. Like somebody shows up in a random fucking Sailor Moon outfit, like for a comedy bit or what have you.
I like where you're going with that. It's not quite it though. Here's the description.
All right, what is it?
Some hapless character is swept off his or her feet by a cosplay enthusiast, or a bunch of them, and ends up wearing a new costume or disguise. Even if the outfit is extremely elaborate, the costume looks almost instantaneous to the audience. The change looks almost instantaneous to the audience, sometimes shortly hidden by a cloud of smoke, or by the occasional flung clothing.
What the fuck? I've never seen that in anime.
So yeah, that is that right there. Well, I think the best example I have of this is anytime you see Team Rocket change their outfits.
Yeah, but they don't snatch other people into their outfits.
No, but I do.
They just put on
feel like there are
outfits.
times when James gets that done to him by Jesse and Meowth, though. I feel like it's happened a couple times. He gets put in a lot of shitty costumes. Let's be real here. All right, my last one for you, Ryan.
Fair.
Muko Kuseki.
You gotta give me a hint. What the fuck does that even mean?
I will give you the literal
tropes that are in Japanese are fucking hard. Man, I have no basis for
I will give you the literal translation, and I'll see what you can do with that. The word Muko Kuseki literally translates to stateless, or without nationality. I'm curious to see what he makes of this.
What? Without nationality.
I'm hoping people watching can figure.
Okay. I would say this is in reference to characters, usually the protagonist, at the beginning of an anime, who's kind of like a man without a country, a person like where like they've come from a faraway place, they can't go back, they have no ties to where they came from, and they have no ties to where they are currently. So they're in kind of a state of limbo where they don't know anybody and they're not connected.
I really like that. I really do. Unfortunately,
That's
it's
entirely
not
wrong.
Right there. Muko Kuseki.
Like most of my answers are. That's a really good answer, Ryan. It's wrong, but it's a really good answer. But you have to admit,
though, that's some creative thinking you got going there.
I try, man. I'm actually
Muko Kuseki is the deliberate lack of ethnic features included in the character design of Japanese fictional characters. It literally means stateless, though the term relates more to more abstract anime, and in this case, used hyperbolically. Note that just because you perceive someone as being a particular ethnicity, despite the quote-unquote word of God, i.e. the author, saying otherwise, doesn't mean that it is this trope. The trope appears when characters of the same race look completely different, or characters of different races look essentially the same. It's the ambiguity that arises when there is a lack of facial profiling. So basically, it's like, oh hey, Naruto looks white because he's blonde and blue-eyed, but he's supposed to be Japanese. It's a very simple way to put it.
I see. But that's also hilarious because there are also characters in anime that are absolutely supposed to be fucking American or do like.
But they come off more Japanese.
Things. I'm looking at you, All Might. I'm looking at you, All Might.
Oh yeah. So that is our trivia segment. Ryan, I think you did all right. I mean, you got one for sure, and you were close to two of them.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I wasn't close at all on that.
That was a tough one. I gave you a tough one. I feel bad. All right, so
let's go throw just gonna throw a fucking Japanese word at me and be like, what does it mean? I don't fucking know.
All right. So let's see. Where are we at here? So next week. Hey, folks. So you may have heard us talking about something else, and we cut this in real quick. One of us, I'm not going to name any names here, forgot we needed to rank the movie still. I'm not naming names here, Ryan. We're all innocent. So
don't worry. Don't worry. It's a small mess up, Aaron. It's a small mess up.
Yeah. Editing. It's great. So we're cutting this in somewhere in there. I'll figure out where we rank the movie. From gold to platinum to silver to shit to whatever else. There's a description down below explaining. In the description down below, there's a link where you can click on to get all the details as to exactly what the rankings are and what they mean. Ryan, we're talking about Secret World of Arrietty. Where would you rank this movie?
So again, it's a very solid movie. I really liked it, and it's a beloved story from my childhood I thought was tackled very, very well. But I don't know. I guess I'm feeling a little picky about stuff tonight. And while it's very well done, I don't feel like it pushes any boundaries in particular. So I'm going to give it a really good bronze rating. It's very good. It's very well done. But yeah, I'd give it a really high bronze.
Yeah, I will concur. I think that bronze is a pretty solid place for it. I gave Ponyo silver, and I really like this one too, but I think that artistically, like visually speaking, Ponyo does a lot more with the visuals, and while its story is rather childish and lacking, the visuals and charm really carry it forward, whereas this one, the visuals are standard, the story is fine, but it's not anything that's going to be like, oh my god, it's amazing, it's great. It's good, it's competent. I think that's the best you can say for it.
100, yeah, definitely agree.
So, yeah, check it out. No harm, no foul, but definitely not in the upper echelons of Ghibli. We can't say that. So, yeah, that's our little review corner here, and back to the original recording. Oh man, are we going to be in November? Let me see what the schedule is here. So this episode came out in November for people who are listening on YouTube and stuff. If you're on Patreon, you've already listened to this in October. Good for you. You guys earned a treat. For the rest of you, though, yes, it's November, and the rest of our episodes for this season will be in November. We are continuing the Summer Slam in November. Damn it, I'm going to keep it that way. And next week is the return of Goro Miyazaki. Can he live up to the hype?
Oh,
let's find out with From Up on Poppy Hill next time.
Well, I feel like he didn't have much hype.
I think he did pretty fine. I'm looking forward to seeing him take things up a notch.
I think he did fine, but I don't think there was hype.
But we'll see if he can overtake what he did last time. But before we get to that, though, remember, you can find us on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, and of course our Patreon page. For less than the cost of these movies, you can help support us in our weird movie show. You can also help us.
It's for you could say it's for
small fee. But yeah, you can help us with new equipment, get movies, start new shows. Any money you can throw our way via Patreon as a donation is helpful to us in so many ways, and I cannot begin to describe how grateful we are for those who can help us. So, with the holiday season coming up, we would definitely appreciate it. And, yeah, if you also want to reach out to us by email, Ryan, what is that email?
That's evacstation@gmail.com. And it would be the best Christmas present ever if someone would just talk to me. I mean, if we received any type of fan mail or questions. We love to interact with our audience and our listeners, so please feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to talk
and,
to you.
As a quick announcement here, so we just finished our Halloween season. I'm sure some of you guys listened to that with Halloween being our last episode of that. November is back to our normal schedule, but Christmas is coming, and while all of you don't celebrate that, there are some holiday movies that we might touch up on that also may not strictly be holiday movies, but we'll get more on that later. But yeah, we have something special for December. Just chill. Just you wait. With that in mind, we'll see you after the credits.
Bye.